The electrical grid was engineered for a world that no longer exists. Built around centralized power stations burning coal and gas, it moves electricity in one direction from plant to plug. That design made sense for a century. It does not make sense for what is coming. Renewable energy sources, solar and wind, do not generate power on demand. Solar peaks at midday, demand peaks at 6 in the evening. The gap between those two curves is not a minor scheduling problem. It is a structural failure point. Grid operators call this the duck curve, the shape traced when solar generation collapses at sunset, just as millions of homes switch on simultaneously. To fill that gap, utilities activate peaker plants, fossil fuel generators held in standby for only a few hundred hours per year, among the most expensive and carbon-intensive assets in the energy system. Meanwhile, excess solar and wind energy generated at the wrong time is simply discarded. In grid terminology, this is curtailment usable clean energy wasted because there is nowhere to put it. The deeper problem is mechanical. Traditional power plants provide grid inertia through the physical rotation of massive turbines. That rotation resists frequency deviations. As coal and gas plants retire, that inertia disappears. The grid becomes brittle. The solution to grid-scale storage is not being built in factories. It is already parked in driveways. Research consistently shows that private vehicles are stationary approximately 95% of the time. During those idle hours, they carry an energy asset that dwarfs conventional residential storage. A Tesla Powerwall holds roughly 13 kilowatt hours. A mid-range electric vehicle carries 40 to 100 kilowatt hours. A heavy-duty electric truck can hold up to 800 kilowatt hours, enough to power a typical home for weeks. The global electric vehicle fleet, scaled to hundreds of millions of units, represents one of the largest distributed energy reservoirs ever assembled. It sits unused. V2G enables bidirectional energy flow. The grid charges the vehicle, and the vehicle returns power to the grid, to the home, or to a commercial building. The electric vehicle ceases to be a passive consumer of electricity. It becomes an active participant in the energy system. This is not a speculative concept. Nissan, Enphase, and E.ON have moved V2G from laboratory trials to commercial deployment. The technology is transitioning from experimental to infrastructure grade. Bidirectional energy flow does not happen by default. It requires a fundamental redesign of the hardware that sits between the vehicle and the wall. Standard EV charging follows a single path. Alternating current from the grid enters the vehicle, and the onboard charger converts it to the direct current the battery stores. Reversing that flow requires a deliberate architectural choice, and the industry has divided into two camps. In AC bidirectional charging, the conversion back to grid-compatible AC happens inside the vehicle. The external charging equipment remains simple, but the vehicle carries the full weight of the power electronics: added mass, added heat, added complexity. In DC bidirectional charging, the conversion occurs inside the external charging station, the EVSE. The charger draws DC directly from the battery and handles the conversion externally. Systems built on this architecture, including the Enphase IQ bidirectional EV charger, deliver greater precision over power quality and higher round-trip efficiency. For residential and light commercial deployment, DC-based systems have become the preferred standard. The efficiency gains driving DC bidirectional systems originate in semiconductor physics. Traditional silicon-based power electronics impose inherent limits on switching speed and heat dissipation. Gallium nitride removes those limits. Gallium nitride-based microinverters operate across a DC voltage range of approximately 200 to 800 VDC, covering virtually every current EV battery architecture. They achieve conversion efficiencies exceeding 97%, meaning less than 3 cents of every dollar of energy is lost in the round-trip exchange. Power ratings in residential units span 3.8 kilowatts to 19.2 kilowatts, sufficient for home backup and meaningful grid contribution. Think of gallium nitride as the difference between a water pipe with a partially closed valve and one fully open. The same pressure, dramatically more flow, with far less heat generated at the restriction point. Power conversion alone is insufficient. Bidirectional chargers must synchronize with the grid in real time, monitoring frequency, voltage, and stability conditions simultaneously. This synchronization is governed by a digital handshake between two controllers. the electric vehicle communication controller inside the vehicle, and the supply equipment communication controller inside the charger. The protocol they use, ISO 15118, negotiates power levels, safety parameters, and billing data within a communication latency of 20 to 100 milliseconds. That response window is fast enough to arrest a grid frequency deviation before protective systems trip. For homes that lose grid power entirely, the Black Start feature provides a secondary capability. A dedicated internal battery within the charger delivers the initial pulse of energy required to re energize the home's electrical system and solar inverters from a fully depowered state.